Green Island. Mr. Johnson took his class away for the week. They went to a big house called Sea House. Mrs. May went too. The children were excited. Sea House was near the sea, and there were lots of interesting things to do. Everyone unloaded the bus. Some of these bags and cases are heavy, said Mr. Johnson. We're only here for a week. Mrs. May found a toothbrush. Whose toothbrush is this? She asked. Oh dear, said Biff. I think it's mine. Mr. Johnson showed the boys their room. You'll be sleeping in here, he said. I want a top bunk, shouted Chip. No, I want a top bunk. Top bunk, shouted Wilf. Mr. Johnson tossed a coin. Heads or tails, he said.
Heads or tails?
Heads or tails. Mr. Johnson gave the children a map. Then he took the children for a long walk. After a while, they stopped for a rest.
They stopped
for a rest.
Mm-hmm.
The children looked at their maps. Mr. Johnson showed them the places they could see. Your maps upside down, Biff, said Wilf. Nadine pointed to a little island out at sea. What's that island called? He asked. Look on your maps, said Mr. Johnson. Who can tell me what the island is called? Chip and Anita know. It's called Green Island.
Chip and Anita
knew.
Right.
It's called Green Island, they said.
Green Island.
Everyone was hungry for the long walk.
After the long walk.
When they got back, it was time for supper. The children served the food. And then they helped wash up. I don't like washing up at home, said Wilf, but it's fun washing up here.
It's funny.
Here.
Who said that? Who?
Wilf.
Wilf?
Yes.
Wilf said, I don't like washing the dishes at home. But it's fun here, right?
Yes.
It's fun to do it here. I guess it's because they came camping or something.
That night, the children were tired, but they couldn't sleep.
Why not?
Chip kept telling jokes and making silly noises. In the end, Mr. Johnson came in. He was cross with Chip. I will send you to bed at 6 o'clock tomorrow if I hear any more noise. The next day, the children did a beach study. Some children worked with Mr. Johnson. They made squares on the beach and looked at everything in each square. Biff found a shell with a crab inside it. It's called a hermit crab, she said. Some children worked with Mrs. May. They looked carefully in all the rock pools. Nadine and Wilf caught a large crab. Look at this, they called. Mrs. May showed them how to hold the crab. We'll look at it, then we'll let it go, she said.
Not killing it, just look at it and let it go.
Ooh,
let it go, let it go.
Mom,
sorry.
It's not the...
Okay. Keep going.
Chip and Nina found a seagull. It couldn't fly. Oh dear, said Mr. Johnson. It can't fly because it has oil on its feathers. Oil is It's hard to get off. So be careful, everyone. Mind you don't get oil on you. How do we get the oil off the seagull?
How do we get the oil off?
How do we get the oil off the seagull?
How do we get the oil off?
How do we get the oil off?
How do we get the oil off the seagull?
How do we get the oil off the seagull?
How do we get the oil off?
How do we get the oil off the seagull?
How do we get the oil?
The
seagull.
How do we
get the oil off the seagull?
Get the oil off the seagull?
Right.
Asked Chip. Mr. Johnson took the children to Mrs. Honey. If anyone can help the seagull, Mrs. Honey can, said Mr. Johnson. This poor old girl needs a clean.
This poor old girl.
This poor old girl needs a clean, said Mrs. Honey. She looked at Anina and Chip. And so do you, she said. Oil is terrible stuff, said Mrs. Honey. You can see what it does to animals and birds if it spills into the sea. It is terrible, said Mrs.
It is terrible.
It is terrible, said Mrs. May. I'm having trouble getting it off Chip and Anina. I feel really sorry for the seagull, said Chip. What will happen to the seagull? Asked Will. Its feathers will be damaged.
Its feathers will be damaged.
Its feathers will be damaged, said Mrs. Honey. So first we'll clean the oil off. Then
we'll clean the oil off.
So first we'll clean the oil off.
Clean the oil off.
Clean the oil off.
Right.
Then we'll look after it for a week or two.
Then we'll look after it. For a week or two.
For a week or two.
Right.
It has to get strong again, and its feathers have to get better. Then we'll let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Come on.
Let it go.
Oh. Mrs. Honey looked after all kinds of animals. She showed the children an otter, and she gave it some fish.
She gave it some fish.
She's a sea otter, she said. I call her Fiona. She was
Fiona? Fiona Princess from Shrek? Now, just same name, right?
Yes, she was hurt by a boat. Now she's better. I'm going to let her go.
Let her go. Let her go.
Mom.
Okay.
Sea otters live on Green Island, said Mrs. Honey. If you like, you can come to the island with me and watch me let Fiona go. Mrs. Honey had a boat. There's room for everyone, she said. If we're lucky, we may see some more sea otters. Two
sea otters, okay.
The children went across the green island in the boat. Mrs. Honey stopped a little way from the island. The children looked carefully, steadily. Anina pointed to some rocks. I can see another otter, she said. Look, everyone.
Where's another otter?
Here
and here. Right.
This is Fiona and this is, I don't know.
You don't know the name? Okay.
Yes. There aren't many sea otters left, said Mrs. May. So that was a wonderful thing to see. Mrs. Honey let Fiona go. The otter dived into the sea and swam towards the rocks.
The otter
dived into the sea and swam towards the rocks.
Right.
Will Fiona be all right now?
Will Fiona be all right now?
Will Fiona be all right now? Asked Wilf. I hope so, said Mrs. Honey.
Mm-hmm.